So one of the signature displays here at Aquarium Zen is our living wall aquarium. This system has been running for nearly 10 years. It's one of the original aquascapes or creations. It's a little more than an aquascape now that I created when I first started the store. It's gone through many evolutions. It's pretty much an old growth, self-sustaining ecosystem at this point. You know, all the plants are rooted in the aquarium, affixed to this plastic felt background. So it's fairly simple setup technically. We have a plastic board that's kind of bent to spill out and come over the rim of the aquarium. Affixed to the plastic board are 2 layers of plastic felt. The outer layer of the felt, you create a cut with the razor and pull it out, and that creates a pocket where you can then put a little potting soil and your plant. Over the years, this has kind of evolved and become a very simplistic environment where just a few plants have survived over time through this kind of hands-off care that, you know, we're busy here, we're taking care of our customers, taking care of all the other tanks, restocking the shelves. This display kind of has to run on its own in its own autonomous way. And that's allowed it to kind of select itself how it was going to shape itself and which plants were going to succeed and fail. So now we have Ficus pumila is the main plant, just kind of growing everywhere. Almost this whole front of the store is covered in this plant. It's rooted down into the aquarium. We also have Spathiphyllum peace lily, which is doing well, quite well too. So over time, the plant diversity has really kind of come to a minimum, but in a way that kind of replicates a natural pattern. In nature, we don't see a lot of wild diversity. We see a few successful species in any particular microcosm of an ecosystem, and that's kind of what we see here. We also have some maidenhair ferns that just popped up as spores naturally, which is quite interesting. But everything you see here is growing out of the aquarium. The plants are rooted in the water, so they're acting as a very effective filter and sucking up the nitrogen that the fish produce just as fast as they produce it, basically, and absorbing it into their plant growth. So it's just kind of operating like this natural cycle where the fish produce waste and the plants suck it up and filter it, and just keeps repeating over and over and over. So the water quality stays very pristine, very clear, and it's just a simple, sustainable, very strong and wonderful display of what a wild aquarium project could look like. That's really hands-off in a lot of ways and kind of maintains itself. So it's really a self-sustaining ecosystem in many ways. So this living wall aquarium, when I set it up about 10 years ago, was probably one of the first of its kind, where someone had thought of using the reservoir of water and nutrients that's needed in a living wall system, a vertical garden, and combining that with a fish tank with an aquarium. It got a lot of attention. I wrote an article about it for Amazonas magazine, and interestingly enough, it got back to some of the architects and project managers at Amazon.com. They were in the process of designing their new headquarters in downtown Seattle. They wanted to incorporate elements of nature into their architectural plans and designs. It's called biophilic design, where you bring in living plants, living walls, aquariums, vivariums, terrariums into the office or professional environment to allow people to, take advantage of some of the stress relieving, creativity enhancing benefits that come with natural design, with biophilic design. So this was something they had never seen. The architects in charge of creating this new downtown space for Amazon.com. And so they were really blown away when they stepped into this little spot, this little nook here at Aquarium Zen, and saw these creative designs that I was working on, such as this living wall. So, it was like a kind of a minimal investment in resources for me, just my creativity, and got me this really wonderful experience and job, eventually creating a much larger version of this system that sits right in the front lobby of their main building in downtown Seattle. So that's something to keep in mind. We never know where our creativity will lead us. As long as we're pure in our vision and kind of go with it, with our full potential, full expression, all of our energy, it can really inspire others and bring a lot of unexpected rewards and benefits to us. And that's what really came out of this rather simplistic design in a lot of ways. It just opened up a whole nother world of possibilities and opportunities for me. And that truly is the power of creativity at work. So traditionally with living wall systems, you have a hydroponic solution of concentrated fertilizers that's feeding the living wall system as it grows. Those fertilizers are toxic to the fish in high concentrations. So there's really this dance that we need to do between the fish health and the plant health in this kind of living wall aquarium system. And I found not every plant could really deal with running on a leaner system that doesn't provide really intense, highly concentrated nutrients like in a hydroponic solution. So basically the fish are feeding everything you see growing here. That's quite unique about this system. And that's why admittedly some of the plant leaves look a little ragged, but to me that feels very wild and natural. In nature you never see pure perfect plant growth anyways. So I think that's one of the fun things about the system. Not only is it easy to manage, we're basically just feeding the fish and whatever the fish food is providing through the fish waste to the plant growth, that's it. So it becomes very simple to manage and maintain in that fashion, and also gives this kind of wild quality where the plants are maybe a little bit stressed, honestly, but that kind of gives them more of a natural feel as well.